scholars. In this video, we'll be exploring the fact that percentages, like decimals and like fractions, are different ways of expressing parts of a whole when the whole is made up of 100 equal parts. To help us understand this concept, let's break down the meaning of the word percent. The word percent is comprised of two Latin root words, the first being per, which means out of, and cent, which means 100. So when you see that prefix cent, you may think of century, which is 100 years, or cents, which is a value of 100 pennies as it relates to one whole dollar. So for instance, if we're talking about 48%, that means 48 per 100, 48 for every 100. And we can visualize that as a fraction as 48 over 100, 48 divided by 100. Sometimes we'll be given a decimal or a fraction and we'll need to convert them to a percent. We can use the fact that we now know that a percent is always talking about a value out of 100 to help us do that. Let's try converting decimals to percents. Let's consider a decimal 0.173, and we want to convert this to some percent. And just to recap, we remember that a number over 100 equals that number percent. So what we want to do is to get this decimal over or out of 100. And what we can do is rewrite 0.173 as 0.173 over 1. We're not changing the value, right? Anything divided by 1 is just itself. So if what we want now is to have this number, or this decimal, 0.173 over 100, or out of 100, what we can do is multiply both our numerator and our denominator by 100. Doing this does not change the value, right? Because 100 divided by 100 is just equal to 1. But what this does allow us to do is to get a product as a fraction with the denominator being 100. So 1 times 100, if we look here in our denominator, is 100. And we know that whatever we get here, so 0.173 times 100, the product of that is going to equal our percent. So let's multiply now 0.173 times 100. Now to multiply any number by 100, all we need to do is take the decimal point and move it 2 places to the right. So here's our decimal point. We move it once to the right to multiply by 10, and we move it once more to the right to multiply by 100. We see now that our decimal is between the 7 and the 3. So 0.173 times 100 is 17.3. So if we follow the logic of knowing that a number over 100 equals that number percent, we have now 17.3 over 100 equals 17.3%. And we've now successfully converted our decimal into a percent. 0.173 equals 17.3%.